Non-Americans of Reddit, what is the craziest rumor you heard about America that turned out to be true? I really want to check something. In the movies/series, schools have a fuck ton of extracurricular activities and clubs. Basketball, football, swimming, cheerleaders, chess, and a lot of more. How true is that? Also, how serious are those games between schools? I always thought that the Olive Garden in The Simpsons was just code for "generic restaurant." I mean, you're still accurate in saying that. Surfer dudes actually speak like that. That Dolly Parton has her own theme park in Tennessee. I thought it was a joke. That woman is a saint. She has a book program for children where, once they are born, they will receive a free children's book once a month until they turn 5. That is amazing. That people actually get attacked by alligators which got in their pools, specifically referring to Florida here. Masked people come to your house, knock on your door asking for candy. Mostly it's just packs of kids, but sometimes whole families. This was my friend's Halloween culture shock. I'm from Australia, and all my life I believed red Solo cups were like 555 area codes, a Hollywood prop. When I immigrated to the US, my mill was making dinner and offered me iced tea in a red Solo cup. I lost it, made everyone sign the cup. I've still got it. Sports bars are actually exactly how they're portrayed on TV. Just much less attractive people. All the food is bigger. $2 bills. They have milk in gallon cartons. When I visited America I went to supermarket for some breakfast stuff, cereal, and milk. All they had was milk in gallons. Who could possibly have that much milk? I asked for a smaller carton and the lady who worked there just laughed at me and made a remark about "don't we like milk in England? Drink sizes." Holy shit. When my family visited in 2017 we landed in Texas for a stopover. First thing I saw in the shops part of the terminal was a dude who was drinking from what looked like an actual fucking bucket. Here in NZR large drinks would be considered an American small or maybe medium. Not exactly crazy, but I wanted to test out the stereotype that Americans will talk to anyone, so I sought out a sports bar on my first visit. Ended up having a ton of really fun conversations with total strangers who I'll never talk to ever again. It was great. Edit. It seems Reddit likes hearing stories about this trip, so here's another one I shared a while back. I studied in Maryland for about half a year back in 2017. I'd always heard that Americans are like super good at pie. I was pretty much all alone during Thanksgiving, since everyone else was with their families. One of the ras I'd befriended knocked on my door and brought me all different kinds of pie. Dear Lord, I've never tasted anything that delicious. From blueberry to apple to pumpkin. Every single pie. They were all amazing. Biscuits and gravy is a legit thing. Also you can ride motorcycles without helmets in some states. And your iced tea isn't sweetened, unless you ask for sweet. Edit. Nothing could have possibly prepared me for the absolute dichotomy of sweet tea vs iced tea in the comments. This is evidently very important to many. American state and national parks are some of the most beautiful places on earth. All parks could use more funding, but American parks are well staffed and maintained. There's real pride. I love our national and state park systems. One of my state parks recently got a herd of bison which I haven't seen in the wild since my trip to Yellowstone. The week I graduate I'm going to go see them and relax in nature. America has libraries that are essentially free to use. This was not even a rumor, but more like sarcastic comment from a friend who heard I was excited to go to the US because he knew what book nerds my entire family is. When I first arrived here 25 years ago, the first day of work at Newark, NJ, I walked out at lunchtime and saw the huge central library. The size boggled my mind, but I bravely walked in to check it out. The guy says, "Yup, show me your work ID for local address and you get a membership card." Me, how much does it cost? I only own $80 total till I get my first pay. He, bemused, almost laughing, "It's free. You don't pay anything." Me, after a brief recovery time from shock. So how many books am I allowed to take home? Expecting that to be a catch. Maybe I need to put down a security deposit for each book. He, now positively enjoying himself. How many can you carry? That day I took home 30 plus books, just being greedy. And quickly called my dad to tell him about it. For a guy who painstakingly would browse used bookstores in small town India, just to get his kids great books to read, he was suitably amazed. He was puzzled if that would kill the bookstore business, because who'd buy if such free libraries existed? Till date I remember the gratitude I felt that day for being able to come here. And when dad visited some years later, I would drop him off at a library on my way to work, and he'd be lost in it all day. Edit. Wow, a few hours of sleep and this has blown up. Guess it resonates with a lot of you. Thank y'all for the plat, gold and silver. I'm humbled. To address some of the comments, yes, by take home I meant borrowed. To return carrying those books home has a story too. The librarian saw my dilemma and wanted to stick to his original how many can you carry comment and would not allow me to discard any, so went off and got me 2 large bags made of cloth/canvas, like grocery bags. And when I lugged all that on the train back to New Jersey that evening, I had to walk home from the train station, no car, a mile away. Normally not bad, but with those books was tedious. A cop saw me and gave me a lift home. He loved my story about the library too. India today is slightly better, but as a kid in a small town, the only library I saw was at my school, where books were never allowed to be taken home. And there was this single shop where you subscribed to borrow some pulp fiction. The Asiatic library in Bombay was big, seen when I visited my cousins, but it had a wait list, I think of 4 years, because they couldn't handle too many members. I'm always amazed at what all libraries offer. I took my parents for a movie showing once, set up as a once a month thing for seniors, and they were shocked that it was free, and they were giving cookies and stuff too, along with pleasant company. My girls have learned to love the library as much, and probably have read more books than most kids at school. My daughter won an award for some accelerated reading, and, at age 9, gave a speech about the impact of libraries for her, and how much her dad and grandpa loved them. Thank you, libraries and librarians. As an American, I think you could also ask this question to Americans. Cause there are some weird ass states man. Dry counties. Cities where places aren't allowed to be open on Sunday or there are only certain hours on Sundays. Not being able to pump your own gas. The minimal amount of paid days off you get from work. A friend of mine from Wisconsin was very proud he got 20 days off per year. If someone in Germany would offer me only 20 days, I would laugh at him and leave. Crazy hospitable, turned out to be true. Talkative, turned out to be true as well. I've had several German friends who were amazed that at house parties everyone actually does drink out of red Solo cups. They thought that was just a weird thing people did in movies and now they think it is a huge conspiracy or something. Parents were from the USSR. They were fucking shocked on how nice you Americans are. They said that you're a weird type of nice, but nice regardless. It didn't even matter they were from the USSR, moved to the States post-collapse, you Americans seem to accept them anyway. Edit, I'm loving all the replies. Edit 2, words. Edit 3, current highest rated comment. Yeah, I guess. Before I moved to America, I heard about dishwashers. That shit sounded too good to be true. Well, imagine my surprise. That Hawaiians really like Spam. Yeah, and there's a perfectly good reason for it too. After Pearl Harbor, the effects of WW2 started in the US, and rationing became a thing. Well, it turns out that it's kind of hard to get fresh rations to an island that imports a lot. So, for meat, they had to make do with Spam. Human ingenuity prevails, and dishes were made. And that's how Hawaii learned to love Spam. The Take Me Out to the Ball Game song that's apparently sung at baseball games, still not entirely sure that guy wasn't taking the piss out of me. Yeah. It's a thing at the 7th inning stretch. Not everyone sings it, but they play it on the PA. You can see into the public toilet cubicles. Female here. I've been in bathrooms where the gap between the stall and door is so big I felt the need to cover it with my purse just to get some privacy. The absolute worst is when some mother brings her grubby-handed son on the bathroom and you see a fucking 8-year-old's eye staring at you from the other side of the door. Free soft drink refills in restaurants. Like WTH. Restaurants pay an incredibly low amount for soft drinks. Like almost nothing for the syrup they put in the machine. Their profit margin is huge, which is why the price is so low, and why free refills don't cut heavily into their bottom line. Not really crazy, but I just learned you guys have like outdoor sirens that get tested somewhat frequently. I've only heard those noises in video games and movies until my friend sent me a clip, because I had no idea it actually happened. Edit. I'm in Canada, Southern Ontario. That your country is huge. I got off the plane and asked the cab guy how far the hotel was, and he said about 30 miles. I almost had a heart attack. Turns out cabs are cheaper than the UK. I can't remember the price I paid, but I was pleasantly surprised. The UK cabs are like £4 per mile. Also, you would get laughed at the taxi for asking to go 30 miles and not taking the train. That American kids eat straight sugar. Walked onto the playground and saw kids chugging these long thin sticks. I tried and it was just colored sugar, lol. Called them pixie sticks. Oh boy, wait till you find out about fun dips. You have a hard candy stick, so all sugar that you lick and then dip into colored sugar to make it stick to the sugar stick. Then you lick the sugar powder off the sugar stick. After you finish all the powder, you eat the stick. 2017 in Athens, Georgia. I passed out at work and was fine, but my boss had already called an ambulance and insisted I get checked out. A less than 2-mile ambulance ride cost me $950 with insurance. I was only dehydrated. That they are able to drink from the sink. I tried that and spit the water. It tastes like shit in my country, but when I went to America it tastes great.